and welcome to another edition of Oh Man, That's Awful, coming to you from the luxurious studios of Radio Titans in Los Angeles. As always, I'm one of your co-hosts, Carl Kozlowski, and with me is...
I'm Kevin Corcoran.
And today we're bringing you a truly wild set of stories. That we've got a guy who, if you're familiar with the show Ray Donovan on Showtime, fixer that takes care of high-end situations that are rather unusual, sometimes dangerous. And we've got a real-life Ray Donovan with us today, a gentleman who has been acquaintance of mine for about 5 years now, one of the more colorful people I know. You'll be hearing plenty of great stories. And he is the proud owner of 3EI International Solutions. And ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Jeff Monteith. Thanks for coming.
How you doing, man?
All right. Yeah, so tell us, I guess, in general about what you do with 3EI and how'd you get into this kind of work?
Right. So my company is 3EI Investigative, things on a global type scale. My company is based here in Los Angeles, California. I also work out of Washington, D.C., London, Frankfurt, Germany, and a few other states in the United States. I've been in business for just over about 17 years now. My company prioritizes high-end individuals and high-net-worth individuals. I started out roughly around 1996. Initially, when I came into the business, I was going to start working in bodyguard, executive protection, close protection type work, and it kind of bled over into private investigative type assignments. So I started working in private investigation. I honed a lot of skills. I spent a lot of money. I learned a lot of things, and now I am where I am.
Wow. Okay. So
it's like the kind of thing where, like, if your life is going well, you won't have to hire you.
No, a lot of people whose lives are going well hire me.
Yeah.
It's listen. I'm not just the guy that comes in and fixes things. When it's gone tits up. Mm-hmm. I'm also the guy that's put into place to keep that exposure off of you to begin with.
Gotcha.
Huh. Okay. So do you mean like if you're up to something that's shady, or just people want their privacy, whether or not it's shady or not?
Yeah. I mean, I have some clients that I make them disappear from the internet, and things like that, and so yeah, I have some clients that are very private, don't want their information out there in any way, shape, or form. So I do things to hide them, their money,
Probably not a lot of podcasters. Sort of the opposite problem.
Well, one very well-known guy that started out as a podcaster. That's
really
big here is a client. But
wow.
I wouldn't call him a podcaster anymore, though.
Gotcha.
Huh.
What I really want to know is how quickly could you break my arm right now?
Couple seconds.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I got you.
All right.
Yeah.
What I'd like to know is how much we would have to pay to make that happen.
How much you
Nothing
got?
personal, Kevin.
No, that's fair.
How much you got?
For the sake of the show.
Let's start the negotiations.
I work on a sliding scale.
So, seeing the luxury that you're surrounded by here, you'd be working for us. You'd be charging us what? Could you say?
Man, listen, it's like this. I base everything that I do, off the client's needs, what I'm capable of, and what it's going to take to pull off. There's some things that cost you next to nothing, and there's some things that are, you're going to be paying me for fucking years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So it's like that. I mean, I've got some clients, some Hollywood Hills clients here, man, that just pay me money every month in case they need me.
Like on retainer. Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
So you're saying if Dave gave you $100, you'd just reach over and break my arm right now?
No, I'd take his $100, man, and just sit here.
Oh, that's nice of you.
$100,
Nice.
Come on, man.
Thanks.
Come on, man.
So like 500? Could you break an arm for that?
500. Come on, man.
You said next to nothing.
I would break my arm for $500.
An arm's worth more than that.
Oh, that's fair. I'm a waiter, so thank you. Career-ending injury.
Break a pinky, tear off an ear for 500.
Have you torn off an ear before?
No, but I'm pretty capable.
That seems reasonable.
It really people can remove an ear off of people.
The price is right.
It's just a little cartilage and skin, bro.
Come on, Carl.
Wow.
Grow up.
Okay. As I'm wincing and cringing right now.
It's not easy, but that's kind of the point of it.
He's got a specialized skill set.
If it was easy to remove people's ears, everyone would be doing it.
It's all at the angle that you rip.
I'll never wear sunglasses again.
Speaking of specialized skill sets, so when a movie like Taken comes out and there's like, everybody's like, ooh, that's a badass speech, man. Do you ever have to give do you have like a prepared speech you give people that lets them know, watch out, fucker, I'm coming for you?
No, not really. I don't roll like that, man.
Okay.
I'm Bible verses or
No. I'm a lot more subtle in what I do. It's more about what you don't say.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, listen, I work within the limits of the law, you know, and within the letter of the law.
That's so fun.
There's some things that I do that are kind of a gray area, but, you know, I know that gray area. I'm the dark end of the fucking street, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, there's a lot more to say when you don't say anything than when you sit there and put all your cards on the table. Because essentially, when I'm dealing with some individuals and I need information, you know, they owe a client money or they owe a client information or whatever, you know, it's a different type of situation than, you know, I don't want to strong arm anybody, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's not my thing. But the fact that sits in the back of your mind knows that you don't know what may or may not happen to you, your business, your family, your car, your doggy. You know, that's.
Oh my God.
Well, could you tell us about a day you've had that went wrong? Like a bad day at work for you?
Wow. Day that went wrong.
Like a case of the Mondays?
You know, honestly, okay. So check this out. A few months ago, I also do a lot of fugitive recovery.
Okay.
You know, you get bailed out of jail. You don't show up. Motherfuckers call me. You see me. All right. I was actually working a case for a client here in Los Angeles a few months into the summer of last year. They had a guy was running around. I think he was beating on his girlfriend or his baby mom or something like that. And the guy kind of went ghost. I flew into LA from Europe. I was running this guy around for about a week. Hit some massive dead ends. Some of the direction that I was taking with the investigation, you know, didn't really pay off, and it was really fucking frustrating. You know, fugitive recovery is a different kind of work, man. I mean, you got people that lie to you about anything and everything, and they think that you just started doing this shit that morning. You know, I've been doing this for a long time, and this guy in particular, man, was kind of like laughing at me. You know, through like texting and shit like that, like what's up, you know, untraceable shit. And, you know, it really pissed me off. But I ended up going back to Europe, and about a month later, one of my sources let me know that he was in New York and Long Island. I had one of my guys that was on assignment in Arizona jump in the car, start heading to JFK. I flew into JFK. He picked me up. 40 minutes later, we were at this guy's restaurant. We sat down. We had a fucking meal. Then I walked in the kitchen, stuck a gun in his face, threw him in the car, and drove him back to California. And that was one of those situations where, like, it was pretty amusing because, you know, again, he was laughing at me, like, you know, catch me,
Cross the
can't
line.
catch me. Yeah, go.
What kind of tip did you leave?
What do you mean? What do you mean tip?
I mean,
I didn't even pay the bill, bruh.
the gun.
I sat down. I had a nice fucking lasagna.
So when one of my tables pulls a gun and say, "Have a nice day, sir. Get out." This one's on the house.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, cool.
But I mean, you know, a lot of the stuff that I do sometimes it's situational like that, man. I mean, you know, you're out here, you're doing surveillance, you're putting eyes on somebody. They leave out of the house. 5 minutes later, you lose them. You know, it's kind of difficult sometimes. You know, chasing down Lamborghinis and Ferraris and shit like that.
Sure.
So you start back over. You know, you go back to where you started. You know, you set things up for another day. Maybe bring in a couple of more people to assist. It is what it is.
So why would you choose to drive? Is it just too dangerous, like dragging somebody through an airport? Because it would save a lot of time, at least.
Well, the situation with the airport is like, you know, now as every SA is, and you know how airplanes are with their situation. I mean, first of all, this guy's got to willingly get on a plane. I can't just drag him on a fucking flight. Right. You know, at the same time, you know, it's a lot. I have to drive clear across the country within 3 days. You know, but at the same time, it's easier for me, safer for me. You know.
And it also helps you set up the sequel to Midnight Run.
There you go.
Look, man, that shit ain't like a movie.
Yeah.
You know, you go in the car, and I let you know what time it is. We got a problem, you can ride in the trunk for a couple of 100 miles. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, of course.
I had a guy years ago, man, when I was working out of Atlanta. It's my experience that most of the people that I end up rearresting are wanted on shit charges, like driving suspended license, no proof of insurance. They're the ones who want to run and fight.
Yeah.
You know, and I also talk to a lot of people that work in the industry, and it's like, you know, if I need an assist, they're like, well, what's he wanted for? It really doesn't fucking matter. Just because he's wanted for driving on a suspended license doesn't mean he don't kill people, sling dope, beat women, whatever it is. You know, so I look at every case as it's like the same thing. It doesn't matter what they're wanted for, but usually the guys wanted on shitty charges are the ones that want to fight. I drove from Atlanta to New York, found this guy accidentally, okay? Wouldn't open the door. I'm looking through the window. I get Nassau County Police Department out there, and once they're on scene, I just basically kick the door down, drag the guy out, and he's all like, you know, this, that, and I'm like, yo, man, I drove up here from Atlanta. You think this is a game? And he spit in my fucking face.
Oh, that's not a good idea.
So I put him in the trunk of the car, and we hit the Verrazano Bridge, and I drove back to Baltimore, where we were staying at, and I basically took him out of the trunk of the car and handcuffed his wrist to one axle and then chained his leg to the other. I went inside and went to sleep.
Wow.
And left him in the parking lot. So, but after that, you know, he was pretty copacetic with the trip.
Good to know.
So he was outside the car chained or inside the car chained?
Outside.
Really?
Under,
Nobody.
like half under the car, you know.
And
Nobody
if you
noticed?
can get at the axle from inside the car, you really need to go to the garage.
right.
I know it's been a while since you've had a car, but
No. Listen, I got places all over the place, man. This was like a safe house kind of place where I was at. So it was, you know, private property. You know what I'm saying?
Taking him to Baltimore is punishment enough.
Right?
One question though, just my ignorance of the law. You were saying that once the cops were at that guy's house, you kicked the door down.
Right.
As I guess in the capacity as a recovery agent, where is, because I would think
Spit it the fuck out, man.
Well, I'm trying to think of the question. Like, where do you cross the line into trespassing? Like that, the fact that the cops are there. That
all right. No. So this is the law. Well, a portion of the law. You know, fugitive recovery is governed under Taylor versus Tanner, which is one of the oldest laws in the country. You know, and each state has its own laws. But the thing is once you're bonded out of jail, you sign over all of your civil rights to the bail bondsman. Now, I'm an extension of that, so I pretty much own you. Now, if I know for a fact that you're inside of a building or residence, that's not a safe haven. I'm weapons free to come in and do whatever I need to do to return you to the custody of court. So, I mean, if I look through the window and I see you, a lot of the time that's how we'll roll. We'll creep up on the house, start peeking in windows. If we see you inside, we don't knock. We just come in and get you.
Wow.
It's safer that way. It's safer that way.
Why weapons free?
What do you mean weapons free?
You said weapons free a second ago.
It means I'm like free to fucking do what I need to do.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you meant that you actually that you could kick open a door, but not if you had a weapon.
Oh no! If you got a weapon, okay.
Yeah.
So check this out. The law states I can return you to the custody of the court, which means walk you into open court before the judge. Go, Your Honor. Here's the body. Here's the warrant. Okay. I can return you to the custody of the sheriff's department, which means take your monkey ass down to Twin Towers and turn you into the county jail, or I can surrender you to the county coroner.
Nice.
The easy way and the hard way.
Wow. So
No, wait, you're not here on official business from the University of Louisville, are you? Because I'm a little bit behind on some of my loans.
Sorry, man. I listen. I won't even fly over a fucking.
I appreciate that.
wow. Okay, so you've had you obviously can't name names on a lot of cases, but you have had a couple cases that you said you're happy to share, like let people know who we're talking about. So, like, what was your run-in with Suge Knight?
Yeah, okay. So, roughly about 5 years ago, Suge Knight was representing or trying to represent Katt Williams. Yeah, Katt Williams was going through a bunch of legal stuff, and I guess Suge was willing to put up the money and, you know, to try to, like, help him get out of his little bullshit legal situations. And then Suge Knight just kind of strong-armed him to be his manager. One of the things that I had heard about it was Suge Knight tried to get Katt Williams, a stand-up thing at Venetian or some shit like that. When they found out Suge Knight was behind it, they were like, hell no, we want them to do that. Anyway, so what happened was this. So Katt Williams failed to appear on a case that he had in San Francisco Bay Area, somewhere up there, some shit like that. Now, one of my clients had bonded him out here in Los Angeles a few days prior. Okay, so he was on bond with me and my clients. But what the problem was,